The question of whether a woman should propose to a man is a modern dilemma that often clashes with traditional and biblical interpretations of relationship roles. While the Bible does not contain an explicit command stating, "Thou shalt not propose if thou art a woman," many scholars and teachers argue that the divine patterns and principles found in Scripture suggest a specific order for marriage and commitment. Central to this discussion is the concept of biblical headship. According to the sources, God created men and women as equals in His image, yet established a structure of authority within marriage modeled after Jesus Christ and the Church. This headship is not defined by dominance or abuse, but by servant leadership, responsibility, and sacrificial love. Just as Christ is the head of the church and took the proactive step to pursue His bride, men are called to mirror this by taking the initiative and lead up to marriage. One source emphasizes that the church never proposed to Christ. Rather, Christ pursued the church with passion and purpose. Therefore, a man's proposal is viewed not just as a tradition, but as a public declaration that he is ready to take on the heavy burden of leadership and provide a covering for his future wife. This divine order is often traced back to the Garden of Eden. Before Eve was created, God gave Adam a job and a domain to tend. This establishes a spiritual principle. A man needs a garden, a foundation, vision, and the ability to sustain life before he invites a partner into it. When a man proposes, he is essentially signaling that he has built this foundation and is ready to carry the weight of a family. If a woman proposes, critics suggest she may be inviting herself into a garden that doesn't exist yet, or trying to force a covering over her own head, which shifts the intended spiritual dynamic. The story of Ruth and Boaz is frequently cited as a potential biblical example of a woman initiating a proposal, but the sources offer a more nuanced interpretation. Ruth's approach to Boaz at the threshing floor was not a modern romantic proposal, but an appeal to the kinsman-redeemer law, a covenant responsibility for a man to protect and restore a family line. While Ruth was proactive and positioned herself wisely, Boaz ultimately took the lead by handling the legal processes and publicly taking responsibility for the covenant. This suggests that while a woman can be inviting and approachable, the final step of pursuit and commitment should remain with the man. Beyond theological patterns, the sources point to significant psychological and relational risks when a woman takes the lead in proposing. One major concern is the passenger man syndrome, where a man who is dragged to the altar becomes a passive participant in the marriage, leaving the wife to carry the entire mental and emotional load. Furthermore, a proposal born out of a woman's anxiety or a desire to move a parked car may result in a yes given only because the man felt pressured or lacked the strength to say no. This can lead to a miserable marriage or eventual divorce because the man was never fully invested or ready for the responsibility. There are, however, rare exceptions. A woman proposing might be acceptable if marriage has already been clearly agreed upon and the act is purely symbolic rather than persuasive. Another exception noted is if a woman had previously rejected multiple proposals and later initiates one to signal her readiness to her partner. Ultimately, the biblical perspective presented suggests that pursuit is proof of priority. While a woman has the freedom to propose, the sources encourage her to wait with wisdom and allow the man to demonstrate his leadership. Instead of chasing clarity, a woman is encouraged to pray, respond clearly to a man's interest, and position herself to be found by a man who is ready to lead. As one source concludes, strong women don't need to chase clarity, and prepared men don't need to be pushed into purpose.